Hello community, hope you are doing well. In this video we are going to see how we can work with the component temp URL and style URL and the component selector. Okay, if you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe and like and share the video and check the playlist which is available here, which is Angular tutorial for beginners. Okay, so let's start our first application. I already created our demo application for this video. Okay, for running this application you have to go in that particular folder path which is having the demo Angular course and the demo app. Here you can write the command which is the ngserve. Okay, so the application is running on the localhost 4200. Okay, let's start with the styling, how we can work with the style in the component. Okay, so we can work in the three way, which is one is the style URL, one is the inline URL, and one is the attribute directory. Okay, which is the ng style. Okay, so working with the style in Angular component involves applying CSS style to the HTML elements. Within the component templates, Angular provides many ways to manage and apply style effectively. Here some common techniques for working with the style in the Angular component. Let's start with the inline URL, inline style. Okay, so how we can work with the inline style? For that we have to just remove this code which is creating by the Angular default. Okay, so here I am removing the code and Angular will automatically compile this. Okay, you can see Angular will automatically compile, and you can check here localhost 4200. Here you can see it is rendering here. Okay, let's write some code over here which is div. This is our demo application for style HTMLs and selector. Then save it the file and check on the browser. You can see this text is rendering here. Okay, so how we can apply inline style in this div? So for that what we can write over here? For that we have to write over here is the style equals to, suppose if I want to give the color of text, it is color which is blue, and the size of the font size is the 16px. It is called the inline style that is applied on this text. Okay, you can see it is applied on this text. Okay, so let's increase the size of the text is having the 29. Okay, so the text is bigger over here. It is increased as per the given in the font size. Okay, so what is the next is how we can give that CSS class. For that Angular given us to that CSS file. Over there we can give the blue class, blue text equals to color equals to blue, and the large for the font we can give the medium font. You can give name of the class as per your convenience. Okay, so here I am giving made font size, it is 25 pixel. Okay, so we return this CSS in app.component.scss file. The CSS only applies on this HTML. If you create another component, the CSS will not apply. So how can we write the common CSS for all application? For that you have to write the CSS in the style.scss. Component CSS will apply only particular component. It cannot be used for all application. Okay, so for that how we can use the blue text over here. We can give these two class in our HTML file like class, and another class is md font. Okay, so this CSS is applied here. Compilation is successful. Here you can see the text is in the blue color and size is 29 pixel. Okay, so let's change it is blue to red. Let's change is blue to red. You can see here the text color is red. So this is the way you can use the CSS in HTML, right? And another way is you can use in the app.html file over here. So this is if you are using external CSS, then you have to give that CSS file in the component using StyleUrls. So if you want a style over here, let's take the styles. So another way you can use using the style, here you have to give the class which we are given in this file. Okay, let's remove from here and paste it over here and check. For that we have give this mark over here. So let's check it is working or not. Let's change to red to blue. Okay, it is working fine. So this is the another way you can write the style like this, but it is not approachable. We are using the StyleUrl only for our live application. Okay, this is the better approach to use. And next, another way is we can use the attribute directory which is the ng class and ng style. For that when we can use ng class and ng style, suppose we have to render class based on the condition, at that time we can use the ng class and ng style. Okay, here I am giving you an example. Let's start with the ng class. Okay, so ng class, this is the directive. Okay, and here you can give a red text in the single quote. Red text is red. Okay, and here you can give another condition which is large font is, if it is large. Okay, this is the flag we are giving here, class based on our condition. That flag we have to declare in app.component file. Okay, so here I am declaring this flag as a is red, type is boolean and equals to true. Okay, and another one is, what is that is large. Okay, so is large boolean equals to false. Okay, so here we can check, you can give the class name like, okay, here you can give the blue text as a class name, that is a class name. Okay, and it is also we have to give the class name over here. Here we give two flag, which is one is the true and one is the false. Okay, it is true, then style is applying here, is large is false, so style should not apply. Let's check here. See, our second class is not applied, which is the font size. Okay, and let's make it the change here, make we false and the true, color is gone and size is increased. Let's make both true. Okay, so both is applied, both CSS is applied here. So this is the way you can use the ng class. Okay, so ng style is the same things we can use, but over there what we have to write, over here we have to write ng style. So for that we don't need to create the class. Okay, so how we can write ng CSS? Okay, we can give here one properties, color. Okay, is red is true, then our color is red, otherwise we have to give in the single quote red, otherwise it should be yellow. And the another things, another CSS we can give for with the comma, it is the font size. We give flag here is large, the size is 16px. If it is true, then it is 16px, and if it is false, then it should be 23px. Okay, so what here we give false to is large and red to true. Okay, now we are checking. See, we are giving is large as a false. Okay, so it is rendering the text is 23 and color is the red. And now we are giving is red is false and is large is true. Okay, so here the color is yellow and size is the 16px. Here you can give both false, color is yellow and text is increase. Okay, here you can give both true as well, so the color is red and size is 16px. So this is the way you can use the ng style, ng class. Okay, so these are the some common ways to work with style in Angular component. Choose the approach that the best fit your project requirements, maintainability goals. Okay, in the next, so how we can work with the Angular templates, okay, in the component. So there is a two ways to work with the Angular template. One is the template URL and another one is the template. In the template you can give the code, HTML code over here. Okay, so how we can give that HTML code over here? For that we have to give the comma. Okay, here you can write that code which we written over here. You can write a code like this: h1 my first application, and h1, and another one is p. He can give the name like text demo application. Okay, so if you write like the with the temp like this way, then you don't need to write the URL over here. You just have to mention the template. Angular will execute this HTML file. It is not executing this HTML file. Okay, so you can see here in the browser the running is HTML like my first application and the demo application. Okay, so this is the one way we can use the template, and another one is the template URL. What we have to do for the template URL? For the template URL you have to give the external HTML file. Okay, so here you can give the HTML file which you want to render. Okay, you have to give that path of that HTML file. So here we give the app.component.html file over here, so it will consider the HTML file as a app.component.html file. Okay, so this is the another way you can work with the HTML. Okay, next we can understand how we can work with the Angular selectors. This is most important things in the Angular. Okay, so let's see how we can work with that. In the Angular, a selector is a decorator. Okay, selector is a decorator, and the essential part of component is metadata. It's defined how component is defined and used in the HTML templates of other component. The selector is typically used to create a custom HTML elements and then include them in your application templates. So let's create another component over here. So for that we have to go, you can check here dir. This is showing the directory of your application. For that, and then you have to go in src folder. Here you can generate the new component which is nggc, and component is the my first component. So you can see here we are getting the error, cannot find the module. Use the skip and imports option to skipping importing in ng module. If you want to skip the component should not import in the ng module, at that time you can use this two line like dash skip and dash import. Okay, you can see our first my component is render over here. Let's move into the app folder. Okay, so here I am cutting that component, cut and pasting over here. Okay, so you can check here we created this component which is the my first component. Okay, so first of all we have to import this component into the app module. So how we can import that? In the declaration part you have to import, and you can import like this. Okay, so our first component is imported. Okay, when we can use the selector? We can use this if this component we want to render in HTML, this app.component.html file. So for that we can use the selector, which is the app.my.firstname component. It should be unique for the application. Okay, for that what we have to do? For that we have to first component creation is done. Let's to use component in your application templates, you insert the component selector as a if it were a regular HTML class, regular HTML element class or attribute. For example, if you have a component has a selector of app my first component, you can include it in template like this. You can include that component. So Angular compiler recognize this selector and replace it with the render content of your component. In this way you can compose complex user interface by combining multiple components within your application. Okay, you can see here that my first component is rendering here. So this is the way you can use the selector. Thanks. If you have any doubt or query, please comment in the comment section, and if you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe, like and share the video. Thanks for watching this video.